Hey YouTube, it's me Blaze. It's that time of year again where we're doing the April Fool's video. There won't be trying anything today. No joke foods, drinks, or anything like that. Today it's gonna be another discussion time, as has kind of been the trend these past couple of years. Um, First, I know the videos have been kind of slow. I've been very busy, which is reason which I'll get into in a sec, right? Uh, so one of the things that when I started this channel, I wanted to do, right, was review the different foods that you can just get from a grocery store. Be try to give my opinion so you could be informed on, what kind of stuff is out there, what things are worth spending your money on, what things are just kind of gimmicks, whatever like that. But without coming at it from a like food elitist kind of perspective, just a very average, I'm just a dude going into the store. I just want to buy something, want to pick something off the shelf. What kind of thing would I recommend grabbing? And so that has been just kind of a fun, and just, I like trying a lot of out there things, and I was like, want to be able to kind of just catalog that stuff, have people be able to experience that. And the reason I started with like pizza, like different frozen pizzas, is because there's a lot of those, and pizza's my favorite food. So I figured if there's anything I was going to share my opinion on, it would need to be that, right? And as I've been doing them, the videos kind of slow, the pizza reviews kind of slowed, and I had started thinking about, I wanted to do a tier list of which brands I think were worth getting, and I probably still will do that, but I ended up getting on a little sidetracked on what I've been doing recently, which I have been actually cooking myself. I've been making the pizzas, making homemade pizzas, and I'd already been making homemade pizzas before, just like with my family, just as a home thing. But we typically would just grab like the crusts from the bread section of the store, like the pizza crusts, the pizza sauces, and then some of the shredded, cheeses, and we just kind of settled for that. And I was thinking, I could do better than this, right? If pizza's my favorite food, surely I could make better pizza than that. And so that's what I've been doing. Originally, my goal was was that I wanted to have something that I could work on, that I didn't have to worry about making a video out of, because the one downside of wanting to make videos of the foods that I try is that if I don't have time to make videos, I'm just stopping myself from trying things. So as I've been doing a bit of cooking here and there, I wanted cooking to just be a thing that I can do and not have to worry about turning it into a video, right? But then I was like, pizza's been my thing. Surely I have to make videos on that, if anything. I can cook everything else for myself, sure, but surely my audience would want to see those, right? So I had to make a decision. And so what I've been doing is, all of the pizzas that I've been making, I've been taking pictures of the end result. I've taken pictures of the ingredients. I've taken pictures of uh, each of the pizzas next to their ingredients so I can remember what is what. And what my ultimate goal I want to do is, I want to make a video specifically talking about, not necessarily making a video on like how to make the perfect homemade pizza. There's plenty of videos out there. I did a ton of research. I have made so many pizzas. It is ridiculous. I've had pizza almost like every other day, and I'm loving every second of it. I could never get tired of pizza. However, there is it's I don't I'm not the one to teach how to make the pizzas, so I didn't want that. I don't want that to be necessarily the video. I might make something like that in the future, but what I actually want to make a video about is the process of figuring out how much money can you save by making the pizza yourself, and what areas are worth saving money in, and which areas or is it too tedious to justify, right? So, for example, cheese is probably the thing that I think will be the easiest thing to not stress too much about. There are definitely reasons so, for example, right, you buy the pre-shredded cheese, and for the most part, I personally think that that's completely okay. It doesn't matter what kind of cheese, whatever cheese you like, that I don't think that it's necessarily worth saving money. I do think that if you get a block of cheese and shred it yourself, you'll save a bit of money and it probably will taste better. But I don't think that that's necessarily a thing where I'm like, you need to save every penny to do it this method and it's going to taste so much better. I don't think that cheese is necessarily that spot, but I do think that there is a conversation to be had about crusts, right? So I'll go more into that in that video, but I want to kind of break down what areas to save it in, whether it's the cheese, whether it's the sauce, whether it's where it is in the crust, and to see how far back do you have to take it for it to not become too tedious, but you're still saving money and still actually making a decent pizza. Because one thing, at least for me, specifically when it comes to the crust, is the pre-made crusts, 90% of them, I do not think that they taste good. I genuinely think that they are really bad. They're not inedible. I've been eating them for years, and I'll probably still, if required, still eat them, right? But there's so much better options that are there that don't necessarily require too much effort, and I will go into that into another video. And I want to kind of put everything into categories, right? Like, oh, what is the fastest way to get a pizza? Like, obviously, you go to a restaurant, right? What's the step beyond that? How can I not have to commit to going to a restaurant? I just want to eat the pizza at my house. Well, the next step would be frozen pizza, right? And I'm going to talk about this in that other video, but this is kind of just a precursor to that. I like doing these April Fool's videos as a kind of a year, just kind of an annual point where I can just kind of talk, right? So, and then from there you have like, do I need to go all the way as far back as possible in terms of the process? Like, do I need to make my own dough, grow my own tomatoes, buy my own cow for the cheese? Like, do I have to go that far to save money in the long run? No. The answer is obviously no. But how far, where's that middle ground between buying the pizza yourself and how much of the ingredients should I try to make myself? Like, should I make my own sauce, or is it okay to just buy the sauce off the shelf? And is that going to be adequate enough? Is that going to taste as good as it's going to be? Do I feel like I need to do more? Like, I want to go over all of that and more the mindset catered to whoever, you know, is watching it, instead of just being like, here's the perfect way to make a Neapolitan pizza, here's the way to make a deep dish, here's the way to make a New York style. I don't necessarily want to be that. I'm not a tutorial person when it comes to food. I'm very freeform about it, but I do want to try to give some informed opinions on that, and still trying to make it casual. I still want it to be coming from the mindset of, I want to do this casually. I can't necessarily perfect it. I'm still gonna, for my own personal, you know, journey of being able to make the perfect pizza, I'm gonna continue to make my own, and I think I'm getting really, really close. I am very excited. I wish I had the picture of the most recent one that I did. It was about an hour or two ago. I just had a very, very solid, a very solid success after two, like, major failures. And that's kind of one of the other things I'll talk about in that future video, is as you go further back in, like, as you add more into the saving money by getting less of the ingredients fully prepared and preparing them yourself, you're introducing that chance of failure. And failure sucks in the moment, but it's important to be able to, you know, move past that, learn from it. That's the more important thing. Learn why it failed, figuring out how to do it better. And in particular, I guess, kind of mini spoiler, the dough is going to be the biggest point of contention, right? It kind of is the part that will really make your pizza the best, and making it from scratch in terms of quality is going to be the highest quality that you can get. But I do think that the actual effort that goes into it, there's so much that can go wrong when you're both making the dough, setting it aside and preparing the pizza with. There's so much that can go wrong there that it can be frustrating if you mess it up, or if some other variable messes things up. So that is a thing to keep in mind just in general with that. But again, all of that, I'm going to go over all of it, the whole process. I'm not kidding when I say that. Like, I made probably over 100 pizzas in the last handful of months, and I had to, shortcut it a little bit by I was making little mini pizzas on some flour tortillas, while I was mainly trying to test different cheese and sauce combinations, because I figured I don't have to test every variable all at once. I want to kind of handle each aspect one at a time, and then move on to crusts at like more towards the end, because I already knew that was going to be the most tedious part, because the preparation that really goes into setting it up and getting it right. So look forward to that. Hopefully more videos coming soon. Maybe I'll end up doing more videos focused on that stuff instead of just food reviews. But I do want to do some more of the food reviews. I just haven't had the time. I've been very busy with work and with more of my other hobbies that I've been kind of slipping on. So I've been having to make sure that I'm not losing it with everything that's going on. And it's obviously, life is just going on all the time. Things are always happening. Things are always moving. So this channel obviously has been kind of been on the back seat. But obviously, as I've said in many other videos, I don't care if my only video I make every year is just the annual update. This channel is more a catalog of what I'm doing in general in relation to food. So it's not something that I'm expecting to turn into a business. So I don't care if there's only like 2, 3 view, 30 view. That's not the point. That's never been the point. So feel free to subscribe, but I'm never going to be like, yeah, like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I don't care. I really don't. Like, I have plenty of other ways. If I wanted to really hit it on YouTube, I have other ideas for how I would try to do that. But if you're interested in making pizzas, maybe look forward to that video. I don't know how. Oh no, always managed to stretch this a little long. No, that's pretty much it though. I guess look forward to that. I might do a video for my actual personal way that I like pizza, because I don't necessarily have my ideal pizza isn't actually something that the way that most tutorials for other people's pizzas, the other styles of pizzas, my ideal pizza doesn't really fit in those categories. And I'm not talking about necessarily just the topping, it's just kind of the overall, like how I like my cheese, how I like the crust, how I like everything. It's not that it's out of the ordinary, but it's just not the typical way. So maybe that is something that I'll do in the future. But I for sure want to just talk about the whole process. I want to show y'all all the pictures, other things. So I've been documenting, I've been getting everything. So we finally reached a point where I'm like, oh yes, this is some actually really good pizza. I can make this, and all I have to do is, dial it in just a bit more, and then if I can just do it consistently, then I'll be in there. I'll never have to buy like pizza from a restaurant or from a grocery store. I'll never have to do that again. And for me, that'll be a great thing, because it will save me a lot of money, and I don't mind putting in the effort. I don't mind dealing with a few failures here and there. Like, that's not a problem. If I can make my favorite food the best way that I like it, that's all that really matters. So hopefully, any of you out there that are interested in, cooking, if you have a food that you really like and you've never necessarily cooked it before, maybe look into what it takes to make that kind of thing, and just kind of have that one thing that you're really good at cooking. I don't know, maybe you can impress your friends with it. For me, that will be pizza. It'll always be pizza. So outside of that, that's kind of all I really wanted to say. I'll see y'all in the next one. I still don't have an outro.